Good morning. I have a jacket. Do you allow me to do it without a jacket? Yeah. Very good, thank you. Welcome to this workshop. If I counted correctly, this is the 9th or 10th workshop that I'll be doing together with ARA. So thank you to ARA for inviting us, and to Mr. Ilya Vlaiku, who was here but not anymore. By the way, I understood from the regulator that there is no Lamborghini for you, because there's no money for that.
But we have for helicopter, it's no problem.
That's even more. That's better. Okay, I didn't understand that. Okay, thank you also to Dore Popa and his staff because he is the main organizer on behalf of our specialist group on statistics and economics to organize this. And of course, thanks to all of you also for being here, because without an empty room, it was not so nice for us to present here. Coming to my, I have to push it, of course. Coming to my presentation, if you are in these workshops, were in these workshops before, then you know I'm going to talk a little bit about IWA and the specialist group. I try to do it as short as possible. And as a last item, I want to introduce the workshop a little bit and talk about the status in the Netherlands of the drinking water sector in respect to the issue or the topic of finance. So, first item is the International Water Association. I said I'm going to talk about that, but what the International Water Association is and what it does, you can see in a movie, in a very short movie also. So please play the movie.
Water, the most valuable resource we have, critical for human well-being and the sustainability of our planet. Water will determine how economic development, human health and environmental sustainability will be achieved. Cities, industry, agriculture and nature all compete for ever more scarce water resources. Managing these competing demands and delivering solutions to secure our water future is an unprecedented challenge. Around the world, water professionals are managing water on a daily basis, providing safe drinking water and sanitation, and protecting water resources. The International Water Association is the global network of water professionals working on the most pressing water issues. We bring people together to share knowledge, experience and know-how, and find new ways to safeguard and deliver water supplies for the future. We connect scientists, practitioners and communities so that pioneering research can underpin new solutions. We foster technological innovation, support sustainability and drive best practice through international frameworks and standards. Inspiring change to deliver a better water future for all.
The message of the film you can see here in a nutshell, but in my words, and in short, what IWA wants is in fact that to make a contribution to accomplish for everybody in this world and in this planet access to safe drinking water and to safe hygienic circumstances. That is in fact the bottom line of what IWA wants. Coming to the specialist group, you may have understand also from the movie that IWA is in fact some kind of knowledge network, and it's all about transferring knowledge and innovation throughout the water world. And the core vehicle to do that are the specialist groups. And the specialist groups in IWA, I think we have at the moment 51 or 52, I think. That's all about some issues gathered around in those specialist groups. And they form specialist networks and contacts, and they disseminate and exchange knowledge throughout the water world by organizing conferences or by organizing workshops like this one, in the web of course, and they do it by publishing books, articles, via the web or on paper or via social media in all kinds of ways. And in this way they contribute to research and practice in all water areas throughout the water world. And if you are a member of IWA, you can join as much specialist groups and experts as you want. Coming to our specialist group, the specialist group Statistics and Economics, and in fact we do two different kind of things. Most important is that we deal with all economical and financial issues in the water stream. So we are very broad oriented, and I listed some here, but there are many, many more, like the issues of today about finance. But we're also doing with performance management and benchmarking, sometimes with regulation, with efficiency, with tariffs and prices, and a lot of other things too. So that's one part of our group. And the other part is that we organize periodical worldwide surveys, and we gather data on water finance and water economics, and we provide the water world with financial analysis and statistics of those data. So that's in short what our group does. Something about the organization: we are self-managed by chair, a vice chair, a secretary, and a management committee. And I'm happy to say that our management committee is 22 members, but they are very diverse in background. They are all kind of economists, but they come from regulators, from utilities, from associations, from even consultants. And so we professors from universities, so we are very different, and that's why we can have that broad spectrum of subjects and issues. We have 5 working groups. We have 350 normal IWA members, and normal means paying members. We will have many, many more, but they are not paying at the moment, so that's a pity. What we do, we meet 2 to 3 times per year physically. But if you are not able to come, you can join on the internet or virtually also. And in those meetings, we manage the specialist group, we manage the working groups, we discuss special topics or special issues to see, do we need to dive into those topics more, because it's special and it's actual at the moment. We organize workshops as much as you can, like this, or maybe a little bit smaller. And next to that work, we will have some fun also, because we are very known in our group for having fun also. And in between those meetings, we do our work by mail or by phone or on the internet or virtually. And all work is free time and self-financed or financed by your company, of course. So coming to the third part, the introduction of the workshop. And Dodo will introduce the presentation and presenters more in a few minutes. But I'm happy to say that 3 out of 4 presenters are from our management committee, because we have that broad spectrum of expertise. And we want to deal with some questions about finance, but in these 3 we want to deal especially, and I come back on those in the next slides. And I talk now about the situation in respect to these questions of the drinking water sector in the Netherlands. So just the drinking water sector, not wastewater and not sewerage, because it's completely different and it's separated in the Netherlands. First question is, how are the operational expenditure and capital expenditures covered? In the Netherlands it's easy, it's 100% full cost coverage. This means all operational costs and capital costs are covered by the tariffs. Everything, always. Also, investments are financed through loans on a commercial basis, meaning if you need investment, it's covered by the tariff, of course, so we have to we get the money for those loans from the tariff, you could say, and we do those loans with commercial banks or by brokers on the capital market, so fully commercially, you could say. And the requirement for that is that the utilities, the drinking water companies, need a solid financial position, and most important in that is that we need an equity ratio, or we have an equity ratio, so in a sense equity divided by the balance sheet total of 25%. When you have that as a company, you will have no problem to get your loans at the optimal conditions. And at the moment, all drinking water companies in the Netherlands have that position. Then, which kind of taxes are included in the water prices? I don't know if you will come back on that too, but just to give an example to you and to warm you up a little bit for the presentations after this. We have one tax on water supply, meaning we pay, or consumers pay indirectly for every cubic meter that they consume, 42.5 cents per cubic meter at this moment on this tax. But it's only for the first 300 cubic meters. But now there is an idea to gradually phase out this tax ceiling up to the year 2027. And starting from 2027, you have to pay for every cubic meter. It doesn't have effect for households because they are 99% below 300 cubic meters, of course, but it has effect on industries or bigger businesses and things like that. Further, we have a regional groundwater extraction tax, meaning the companies pay on average 1.5 cents per cubic meter for every cubic meter they extract from groundwater. And it differs, it's an average, so it differs for the different regions. We have regions where it is 0, and we have other regions where it's up to 4 or 5%. But it's not a very big amount because not everybody extracts groundwater, of course. And last but not least, as every country has, or I think every country, we have a VAT of 9%, including VAT on those two other taxes, which I still find a bit strange, but whatever. And then maybe the most important or most interesting question: what are the challenges in covering the future cost of climate change, of migration, of price increases, and some other factors too? To discuss a little bit, or to explain a little bit on that, I first draw you the most important issues in the drinking water sector in the Netherlands in this moment. We have, not only for today, but only for many years, more pollution in groundwater and surface water. We have climate change as everywhere. We have less rain, more dry periods, the groundwater level is falling down from time to time, it gets too dry in certain catchment areas, so problems for the company in respect for extracting drinking water, but also for nature and for farmers, for instance. We have more people coming, more than 100% from migration, and it's easy, when you have more people, you need more water. And I don't know if it's special for the Netherlands, but we have it anyway. We have a slow and bureaucratic license system, and we need licenses to extract water and to develop new water sources. And we have a nitrogen emission crisis, and that means that we are not able to build houses for people. We have a shortage of 1 million houses in the Netherlands, but it's also not possible to build everywhere production stations where we want, or to develop new sources. It's maybe not special for the Netherlands, but it's a real problem at this moment, and it's more statistics than real, in my opinion, but whatever. Then solutions. Yes, of course, we have to accelerate our source protection. Not that we don't do anything about it, we don't do it already for a long time, but we need to accelerate that. And of course, when we have more pollution in the raw water, we have to extend our purification stages, and we are still able to do that, but it costs more money, of course. Then I think, especially for the Netherlands, we have to change our water system, because our water system in the Netherlands was developed to get rid of the water as soon as possible, because we are, I don't know, half of the country is below sea level, so we have a high risk of overfloodings. And so what we did the last 50 and 100 years is to get rid of that water. But now, because of the climate change, we have to maintain that water in certain areas in the inland. So we have to change that, and that will not be done in 1 day or 1 week or 1 month or even 1 year. Then we have to develop new or extra production locations, or new sources, of course, because we need that, because the older ones are in a too dry area, for instance. And what we also have to do, we have to change our stakeholder management. And what I mean by that, that we have to convince our politicians in the central government and in the regional government that they have to do something. They have to act now, not yesterday, but, or already yesterday, but they have to act now. And for sure, and I never told that, but if they don't do anything, then we will have not water enough anytime in 2030. And we have the water in the Netherlands, that's not the problem. But what we have, we need the possibility to exploit it and to extract it where we want and where we can. And that needs the solution of the politicians to do that, because they still think that there is water from the tap every minute, every day. But that's still the case. But if they don't do anything, then it's not there. It's not there anymore in a few years. Also the finance solutions going with that, or the implications you could say. We need huge investments in infrastructure, because we need pumping stations in other locations or other new sources, and also the piping systems connected to that. That needs higher tariff and tariff increases. Tariffs are increasing since the last 3 years, but before that, 10 or 15 years, we had no price increase at all. Even in realistic terms, we had a price decrease. And we need that also, those higher tariffs, to save money, let's say, to extract loans. Or the debt from loans will increase in the balance sheets of the water companies. That is in fact no problem if you are allowed to have enough profit, or you are able to have enough profit to keep your equity rate on the level that I told you. And maybe the last, but that's maybe far away, we could have more problems on efficiency if the tariffs get higher, and if the problems get bigger, and even if affordability becomes an issue, which is not the case at the moment, but it's the case in the electricity sector and the natural gas sector. But when that becomes an issue in the water sector, then there will be more pressure on, let's say, on the operational management, of course, but I think in the water sector we are already very efficient, but also on the technological solutions, which is obvious. For instance, via digitalization or artificial intelligence, of more efficient energy use or more efficient manpower, things like that. So, that's what I wanted to say to you. If you want to reach us or you want to be active in a group, you can follow us on LinkedIn. If you are an IWA member, you can follow us on IWA Connect. You can contact our secretary directly. So for now, I have to say still one thing. We have this year our very big event, our Water Development Congress. It's in Bangkok, Thailand in December. So if you can go there by the helicopter, if you're not a Lamborghini, but by the helicopter, you can come there. You are very welcome. And for now, I wish you a very good workshop, and thank you for your attention.